Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World. Welcome to the breakdown. Sunday night is the day after the day. It's time to discuss it all. It's time to break it all down. And it's, of course, time to look forward to a very important week for Cardiff City as they prepare for the two huge games. And then that is obviously followed by a festive period, which could be or could have a massive influence on Cardiff City season going forward, because ultimately I don't think it's sort of getting ahead of yourself to say if Cardiff have a really good Christmas period and win their home games, pick up some points on the road, they could open up a bit of a gap. You look at I think is it 6 points? I forget now off the top of my head. Between us and Lincoln, if we're able to beat them next weekend, that makes that 9. We still got a game in hand on them. And then suddenly you start feeling like you can open up that bit of a gap, which is encouraging. But let's talk about yesterday first and foremost, because look, it was a game and a half, and I guess if you were neutral, it was probably a phenomenal game. I actually spoke to one of my mates who's a journalist covering the game, and he absolutely loved it. I left there feeling emotionally broken. I think just up and down. There was a lot of good, and obviously you finish on such a high point. But you can't ignore the defensive lapses yesterday, I think is fair to say. And also, I think you got to be honest as well and say we have conceded a lot of chances throughout the season. We've kind of just gone toe to toe. Most games, one or two odd ones, but most games we've kind of just gone toe to toe with teams and just had that extra bit of quality. Now, is that sustainable over a 46 game season? It probably is in some ways, because I think we've got a very deep squad. We've got a young squad who got legs, and we've got the quality in the right areas. But like when you look at the start of the season, the first sort of 10 games, we barely conceded a goal. And I think if we can continue to score goals and create chances the way we are and shore up the defensive side a little bit, we're very difficult to beat, And look, fair play to Doncaster. Doncaster, there's two sides to it. So I loved the fact that Doncaster didn't just come and plonk 2 banks of 4 and hope for the best. I liked the fact that they came to play. They said they were going to come and play football, and they did that. And I thought they played some good stuff at times in certain areas. But I also thought we made it very easy for them to create chances. I turned to my son and Matt a couple of times in the first half and just said, just one pass straight through the middle of us, which is a bit concerning. But I saw there was a bit of a discourse. I think it's was Scott Johnson was having a bit of discourse about rotation and stuff on social media, and whether constantly rotating the centre backs is part of the issue. I think when you look at last season, one of the criticisms that was leveled at Omar Issa was that he kept changing the defense. Now, it feels like we change the defense every game now. The fullbacks kind of stay the same. Kipakio and NG switch, but, Begum plays, and then we mix and match the centre-backs. And in one way, it's good because you've got 4 decent centre-backs for this level, at least, if not, better than that as well. But defending it's about chemistry and it's about partnerships, and it's difficult to not go. Whenever we've played Will Fish and Dylan Lawler as the pair, they've generally, I'm sure there's been games, but generally we've looked a lot more secure. But I'm sure statistically, if we went and had a look at it and we broke it down into partnerships, I wouldn't be shocked if the chances conceded are not that different. It's just that for those games, Nathan Trott was digging us out, or Fish and Lawler making last-ditch tackles and blocks. It's just, I don't know. It's ultimately the manager's going to play quite an open team. The way he sets up, is very aggressive. The fullbacks are like wingers a lot of the time. The number 8 is quite often right up alongside the number 10. And it's just kind of Ryan Wintle and the centre backs. And, if Ryan Wintle goes or one of the centre backs jumps, we are going to be exposed in the channels. So I don't think it's going to change, if I'm honest. I think the way the manager wants to play aggressive, front-footed football, and it could be a bit up and down for us in terms of emotions and games. But generally speaking, look, on the ball, I thought we were very good yesterday again. I thought Amari Kellyman was really, really impressive. He looks much more comfortable in the 10, I think, than he does out wide. I'm not sure if he's got he hasn't quite got the electric pace of, say, like an Isaac, where he can just go past someone. But he's definitely got the footwork and the ability, and he's got those long strides. And, he doesn't press perhaps as intensely as Ruben, so we lose a bit that side of it. But what he does do is he does win the ball back with his long legs. He wraps them round and he wins the ball back. Did that again yesterday. And, he won us countless free kicks yesterday in dangerous areas by carrying the ball. So that was good. I thought Alex Robertson had some really nice touches and his passing ability is definitely a plus when he's playing. But you can't fit them all in terms of, I thought, there was an argument, I thought, in the second half that maybe we needed Joel Colwell's legs in there a little bit. We lost a bit of control of the game. And we didn't have the same energy levels, which is understandable. You obviously had, the likes of Salic, Kean Ashford, Wintle. They play most games and they stay on for most of the games, so they're going to feel it at times. So that's where you could do with maybe the legs of Joel Colwell. But look, 3 points at the end of the day, and I think you can analyze it and go into the details. And I think everyone probably agrees that we'd like to see it shorn up a little bit at the back, but I wouldn't want to sacrifice the way we play football to do that. So hopefully we can find a happy medium. And at the end of the day, with the Chelsea game now Tuesday, it's an absolute free hit. Absolute free hit. The one thing which did annoy me yesterday, really, really bugged me, was watching Charlie Crew run the game for an hour. Like, I thought he was absolutely outstanding in midfield. Some really clever passing, when to just recycle it and move the ball, when to play a bit more of a progressive pass, and he obviously gets an assist. And he was a part of everything good that they did. And I was actually very surprised when he went off. I was relieved in a way. And that's the one thing you do lose with Amari Kellyman, or even probably Callum Robinson in there, is that the likes of a Ruben or a Joel Colwell or even an Alex Robertson or a Kean Ashford or someone, is they will give you a little bit more defensively in terms of they will sit on the 6 and not give him the time on the ball, because they've, especially with like Joel and Ruben, they've played deeper. They understand more, as they look at it more as a midfielder as opposed to an attacker. But it's not criticism of Kellyman and Robinson by any means. It's just a fact. Like, they're forwards, really, aren't they? And I thought Charlie Crew was excellent, and I was watching that and I was thinking, oh, look, I know, we got Mafiko, but it looks like he's going to go out on loan. And it's frustrating because Charlie Crew was with us. He was in our academy, and if he was, if he was still at the club, he'd have the perfect manager now. He could be coming in and out for Ryan Wintle in that 6th position and learning his trade and playing first team football. But he'll be in the Wales squad, no doubt, very soon as a regular fixture on that performance. It was really impressive performance, mature performance as well, very tidy. But I thought Alex Robertson was very good on the ball. I thought Isaac Davis was absolutely electric in the first half. And actually, our 2 wingers had their fullbacks on toast. And that's the second week in a row, actually. Kean Ashford has had his fullback absolutely petrified every time he got the ball. But it's great to see, because you just got, one of the things that's often levelled at Kean is, he's not quick enough, or he doesn't go at his fullback. But actually he's really intelligent. Like, he knows when to go at him, when to get in behind him, when to come short and create space for others. He's a very clever footballer, and I thought Keane Ashford was some genuine quality in amongst some absolute chaos that was yesterday's game. Like, he found real quality at the right times. But even Isaac Davis, I was disappointed when Isaac went off for half time. I'm hoping that it was a case of he's had an injury record. Let's not have him play, 2 games really close together. So let's get him off so he's fresh for the Chelsea game, because he looks really dangerous. He looks aggressive. He works hard. And, look, for all the criticism that Chris Willock takes for his defensive work, I thought he did a good job helping Joel Bagan just to nullify that right winger, because that right winger was causing Joel some problems in the first half. Very direct, very skillful. And through Crew and Bailey, they were trying to get the ball out to the right winger to isolate him, either isolate him one-on-one against Joel, or get in there while Joel was further up the pitch. And he's a direct wingers are difficult for fullbacks to deal with. So it was really encouraging that in the second half, Joel, I thought, locked him down pretty much. And obviously the goal at the end is the icing on the cake. But so many, particularly for youngish players and young players, you have had a nightmare in the first half hour or first 45 minutes, and not necessarily by his performance, more so he just had a very tough game and just didn't crumble, just kept at it, and, put some good blocks in, some good tackles. I would like us to tighten up a bit with our set piece delivery in attacking sense, but also defending set pieces. I still felt like there was a couple of corners yesterday where I was like, there's a couple of guys on the edge of the box, and it looked like they were setting up to do the same free kick that's caught us out a couple of times already, where they put it back to the edge of the box and shoot. We've got to be aware of these things. But Doncaster were all right. I thought they were pretty good. I would be very surprised if they're in the bottom 3 come the end of the season. Thought they were way better than some of the other teams that we've played this year. They need a goal scorer. You can see that. They need a keeper, mind as well. And actually, in my preview videos, the 3 which we do, obviously we do the general preview, we do the managers' sort of philosophies versus each other, and then we do the 3 big questions then on match day. I think in all of those videos, or at least a couple of them, I kind of pinpointed the keeper not good with the ball at his feet, not confident, and is a bit airy-fairy with his sort of handling. And I thought that came to fruition. Like, I really thought he was a weak point in their team. Obviously, they concede a lot of goals, so I would have liked to have seen us actually target him a bit more off the press. Sometimes I thought we gave him a little bit too much time, but look, in terms of it's one of them, innit? Like, you just got to find a way to win. Ultimately, in the league, it's just find a way to win. And 3-3, 97 minutes of 97 gone. Injury time's up. Which so easily to kind of, it's not going to happen today. But they just kept going. And again, I mentioned Keane Ashford again. He cuts inside, is on his weaker foot. The safer option is to give it to someone else who can perhaps shoot on their right foot or try and play like a little ball, but he's brave and he takes that shot on in probably one of the last kicks of the game, takes that shot on with his weaker foot. Keeper makes a decent enough save, but he works the keeper is the important thing as well, of course. He hit the target, and then Joel Bagan is brave and aggressive, and it's a difficult finish. Like, I know it looks like a tap-in. It's not. Like, it's such a narrow angle. The keeper and the defender are throwing themselves at it. He's got such a small area to aim for. And, left back being so consistent all season, I was thrilled for him. Absolutely thrilled. And I was trying to find a clear picture of Joel Bagan and Keane Ashford for the thumbnail. Just couldn't find a really clear one of the two of them celebrating. But, look, who doesn't love a fucking last-minute winner? Or not even a last-minute winner, a 99th minute winner. beautiful. And I think it's a weird one, right? Because individually, when I look at the side yesterday, I didn't think many people had like a terrible game, but defensively we did look susceptible. I thought Will Fish looked off colour, and he got absolutely smashed to pieces on against Stevenage. He took 3 really big hits, a couple to the head and one in the advertising hoardings. I was surprised to see him in the starting lineup, which I guess is a testament to him and his want to play, his mentality in that. But he did look a bit off colour. So in hindsight, could we have gone with Chambers and Dylan Lawler? But then, I didn't think Callum Chambers was as good as he's been recently. He looked a little bit more shaky, misjudged a couple of balls, but then he also did some good stuff as well. Like, there was no one in our team which I was like, oh, they were terrible. Even I saw a lot of people sort of saying Kapacchia was terrible. It was just a difficult defensive game. Maybe got caught on the ball a couple of times, but equally, he hasn't really played that much because of the form of Perry NG of recent weeks. So maybe he's just a bit rusty in that. But look, I look at that Chelsea game and I'm kind of, I don't know how to say this without sounding ridiculous, because we can see chances like we did, or we have done this season against a team like Chelsea. It could end up being a cricket score. We know the quality they've got. They've got like 3 teams worth of players who absolutely walk into our team. We know this. But at the Cardiff City Stadium, in front of a full house, all the pressure's on them. And you'd imagine they ain't going to come and place, chuck 2 banks of 4 and sit in, are they? And that just feels like it's a game in terms of the tactic side of it. It's a game that'll suit us. They won't be as physical as what we see in League One week in, week out. So if we can press like we have recently at our best and be really well drilled with it, got to know when to sit in so you don't get cut open by one pass through the midfield. The manager, I think, is going to have to get the personnel right. And I'm sure there's a temptation to go with a Turnbull Wintle midfield, because Turnbull will sit in and he'll look after the ball. But for me, I think it's a game where you've got to make a choice of, do you go with the technical ability of Alex Robertson, or do you go with the legs and the aggression and the ball carrying of Joel Colwell? That would be my personal choice. I would go with the pace of Isaac Davis. I expect Callum Robinson to start. I think he's got a really good scoring record against Chelsea. Obviously scored against Stevenage the other day. Looked pretty sharp yesterday, but only got, I think, 10 minutes at the end, which was strange. So I wonder whether they had one eye on the Chelsea game for him. And then it becomes you're going to drop Salic for the big Chelsea game? That doesn't seem likely. But maybe you go with Robinson up front and Salic as a rest. Don't know about that. But I think Kellyman's actually, so Kellyman's ineligible. So I guess it's a straight shootout, isn't it? In terms of the number 10 position. Are you going to go with Callum Robinson, who's got a very good record against Chelsea? Or do you put Joel Colwell in there, who will press and harry and do the defensive side of it to give you an extra body in midfield? Guess that'll be up to the manager. And then, like Turnbull or Robertson alongside. I'd be shocked if Wintle doesn't play. Defensively, I think Perry NG will play because Kapacchio's banned. Centre backs, I personally would go Fish. I would go with Fish, Lawler, NG, and Bagan. I think that's probably our best defence at the moment. Be very happy with that, and hopefully Trot as a absolute blinder of a game, and we can take our chances when we do get them. We will have chances. Chelsea, absolute basket case of a club, and we will have chances. It's just whether we have those chances when we're 3 down. I have a feeling that it's a game that will quite suit us. But we've got to tighten up defensively if we're going to beat a team of Chelsea's stature and Chelsea's ability. I don't expect Chelsea to play like the 11 that played yesterday, but I don't think they'll rotate the kids either. They'll play a mix. I would expect like Garnacho to play and a few others. Will they play Cole Palmer? 2 games in the space of a few days, straight back from injury? Possibly not. But they've got plenty of players. They got that young, I forgot his name, Esteval, is it? The youngster. Very, very good player. Very, very quick. And that's another reason why I think you've got to get the selection at the back right in terms of which centre-backs you go for, because they've got some lightning quick forwards. Lightning quick. Skillful forwards. So you need people who can read the game and a bit of pace. Obviously, with no Pacquiao, you haven't got that recovery pace at right back. So you're fairly limited in what you can do. But I'm interested. What would you do? What would your side be for the Chelsea game? I'm going to go to some comments now and catch up a bit. I've been talking for 20 minutes already. So let's have a look. Evening, Reese, Cardiff City fan, Corey, what's happening? Martin, jumpers for goalposts. Martin Ryan, Graham, evening, chaps. Jumpers for GoPro says, evening all, to be honest, Tuesday's a free hit for us, despite the glamour nature of the game. Personally, I'd take a glorious loss if we beat Lincoln next weekend. Amazing if we can beat Chelsea, though. Yeah, I kind of feel the same, mate. We've got to get promoted. And this Lincoln game is massive. Absolutely massive. Like, it's a really big fixture, which we need to win, really. And it's another tricky game, so you've got to be at it. But Corey says, what's this video about? Chelsea, Lincoln, or just the rest of them? No, it's about yesterday and the week ahead, mate. As always on a Sunday. Be nice if we could make... Would be nice if we could make it really hostile on Tuesday, but I'm just not sure that we have... I'm not sure we have I don't think we've got that in us anymore as fans, like as a fan base, to be as hostile as back in the day. Like, football's changed. It's just I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. It's just a different thing. The atmosphere can be good, don't get me wrong, and the atmosphere will be wicked. I just mean like hostility where it makes players uncomfortable. I'm not sure we have that anymore, partially because of the way the fans are laid out and stuff, but it is what it is, isn't it? So Graham thinks the crowd will suit Chelsea more. Evan says, Premier League fallen giants on the road to recovery. Yeah. Gavin says, even in Bluebirds. Si, what's your thoughts on the Cardiff City fan march before the Chelsea game on Tuesday night? Yes, that's what people want to do, mate. Leave them to it. Like, I don't know enough about it. I think I saw that there, or certainly Dan is walking in aid of or in tribute of a friend of his who's ill, who's a Cardiff fan. So I've got a lot of respect for that. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't do it because I can't walk that far. But either way, I got it's no shade, no nothing. Like, it's good for them. If it's for a good cause and it makes the atmosphere in the ground better, then great. Anything I'm at the end of the day, mate, right? This is the way I look at it, is anything which is positive for Cardiff City fans is a positive for me. And that's all I would say. As long as it's positive, then good. Martin says, some of our football yesterday was breathtaking. However, I felt we couldn't sustain the attacking intent and gain that momentum. Yeah, but the thing is, right, I agree with you, mate. It was some of the football we played was unreal. But I do think we were able to keep it up. Like, you're always going to have portions of the game where you're going to just keep the ball and It's kind of one of them, isn't it? But I think if we were defensively better and we weren't giving away so many clear-cut opportunities, like one-on-ones with the keepers and just free shots, I think that game yesterday was a lot more comfortable. Their first goal is a good goal. The winger goes at Big and he beats him, and then he plays a really clever pass, cuts it back, and I think it takes deflection, but even so, it's well-worked goal. Their other goals, I believe, were kind of caused by poor defensive work. And second balls, I think, is an issue for us. We don't seem to win a lot of second balls at the moment. Although Stevenage we did, but yesterday it felt like they were first at every second ball, particularly in the first half. And I think if you look at their third goal, that comes from a second ball. Now, is it a foul on Callum Chambers? I'm pretty sure it was, but you can't rely on referees at this level. I think that's been very, very clear for all to see. They were sloppy when they had the goals, and we just the general play in our own third was just a bit sloppy. But some of the football we played was absolutely scintillating, and I'm absolutely here for it. And I think some of the movement that we do, like the patterns of play, you can really see them now, like whereby if when Pacquiao's got it in his own half, he'll look for the ball up wide, and as soon as that ball's not there, he'll bring it inside, and then Keane Ashford will drop in to receive it and then just bounce it off. He'll either bounce it off back to Pacquiao on the wing, or he'll bounce it off. But you can see the movements and the patterns because they're repetitive throughout the game. And I think that's a clear indication that the football we're seeing is going to be, we're going to see it more and more, this fast popping it off and popping it around football, because they're getting to know what the manager wants more and more and more and more. The one thing I want to see us do more that we did a lot at the start of the season was working teams, moving them about, and then we were switching the play with like long diagonals from Fish or from Wintle to the opposite wingers, and then those wingers were one-on-one with their fullback. We seem to have, I wouldn't say we've cut it out, but we don't seem to be doing that as much. Now, that might be because they've decided that long diagonal is a bit too high risk. It's a very difficult skill. Now, Will Fish is exceptional at it, but it can't always be him playing that ball. So I think whether they've decided to not do that as frequently because they deem it a bit high risk, and it can be overhit, it can go side to side, you can get cut out, whatever. I don't know. But I would like, because I thought it was a really big weapon and a big part of what we were doing well at the start of the season. And what we continue to do well, by the way, as well. Not being negative whatsoever. Ryan says, Wintle again yesterday, leading by example. I thought he was excellent, mate, again. And as I said in a video last week, like, nothing is making me happier than being proved wrong about Ryan Wintle this year. Now, I'm so happy to see the way he's playing football, especially because he is a leader in that group. When you look at the age of the players around him, he's like an old man. Like, he is one of the older guys in the group, more experienced. And to see him enjoying his football and showing a real, like, he's a decent, like a good footballer as well. Like, he's not just a number 6 destroyer. He's good on the ball as well. And I have questions whether he's one of those players who's exceptional in League One and maybe not quite good enough for the Championship. So he's kind of in between. I don't know, because I've not seen him play to this level before. But I'm told by other people who watched him before he was at Cardiff that he's got form for it. So I'm hopeful that he can carry on into the Championship if we get there. So yeah, it's good, isn't it? But we shall see. So Corey says, Si, would you go for Tuesday? Would you go for experience or just quality, like Chambers, NG, and also Robinson? I would play Lawler and Fish. If Fish is fully fit, I would play Lawler and Fish. I just think it's been our best centre-back pairing, and I think we need to be at our best. I would also say in the big games, those two have been exceptional. Dylan Lawler seems to find another gear when he's in the real big games as well. So that would be my sort of thoughts on the centre-back. NG is going to play because obviously Ronan's out. In terms of Robinson, I really think you've got to weigh it up. And it's a tricky one. Robinson's got a really good scoring record against Chelsea, and I think that counts for something. He's also a streaky striker. He scores goals close together. Having scored against Stevenage, I'd be inclined to play him. But I worry that it might leave us quite open if we play him and Salic against Chelsea. That would be my only thing with Robinson, because I don't think you can drop Salic at the moment. The man's scoring for fun, and he just gives you so much everywhere else. So for me, it's got to be between Joe Colwell and Callum Robinson. It's a tricky one. Ryan says, couldn't drop Chambers after Tuesday, but you can't knock Doncaster for the way they approached us, knowing we can be frail at the back. Yeah, they were very good, mate. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, Martin. Martin says that Turnbull lost his man for the third goal. He switches off far too often. I think maybe a bit harsh in terms of, like, he had just come on, hadn't he? And maybe he was just getting to grips with it. But you are right, he did lose his man. But I also thought it was a foul, if I'm being fair. And Corey says, for me, Robertson and Wintle are the midfield option again Tuesday. Robertson's calm under pressure and Wintle's experience. Been our best midfielder probably besides Ruben. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, mate, to be honest with you. I think Alex Robertson's got gradually better since he's coming back. I think he's been a bit unlucky sometimes to be on the bench, but I also think Joe Colwell's super unlucky to be on the bench. So unfortunately, when you've got almost like an embarrassment of riches in terms of ability and talent and players in similar positions, you kind of stuck. So, and it is an interesting one for you. It's not my opinion. It's a friend of mine's opinion. He thinks that we should play Cian Ashford on the left on Tuesday, and we should play Joel Colwell on the right with Robinson in the 10, with his thinking being that the Chelsea left side will be very good and very aggressive, and Joel Colwell and NG then can lock that down. I don't mind that. I don't see it though. Like, I just think Cian Ashford has been so good on the right, and he does his defensive work. And I don't know if Joel is a natural right-sided midfielder, and like he could do the role, and he could put a shift in. But I just think when you've got the likes of Isaac Davis or Chris Willock to play on the left and Cian to play on the right, like, there's no need. Like, if you want Joel's legs, then play him in the 10. Like, you're going to have to make a decision ultimately, isn't it? Jonathan says the Doncaster winger was good, but their keeper's as bad as Hovarth. Oh, man, I thought he was worse than Hovarth. So, Martin, on that, like, someone will have to check this. That Molyneux obviously played most of his football in League 2. Was he on the list of League 2 players that I did a video on in the summer, or like last summer, or last season? I wonder if he was. The name rings a bell, but I'm not sure. Maybe he was on the short list or something. I don't know. Yeah, I tend to agree with that, Gavin. Gavin says he thinks that Willock will start Tuesday due to his defensive play while on the wing. See, this is fascinating to me, right? Because if you ask me who gives you more defensively, generally speaking, out of Isaac and Chris Willock, I would probably say Isaac will work harder to get up and down. However, if you look at the stats, defensively, Chris Willock is pretty good. And I think he's been generally really good defensively this year. I also thought he looked really dangerous again last night when he came on. Now, Isaac's a striker, remember, who's playing on the wing as well. I guess ultimately it'll come back to, do we want pace to try and get him on the break? If we want pace to try and get him on the break, then Isaac's got to start. If we're going to look to unlock them with patterns of play and movement, then maybe you go with Willock. Yeah, that Hanlon for Doncaster, the number 9. He was a strange old player. He was. He gave us a nightmare, like with his physicality and his running off the ball. But like he missed some big chances in the second half. Like he's got to hit the target there. And I think that was that the one that Callum Chambers? He tried to bring it down. I think instead of just getting something on it and getting it away, and he kind of broke through. But he's got it. Like to not hit the target is scandalous in that sort of opportunity. JT says BBM be rubbing Enzo's bald head when we go 3-0 up. Wait till you see my predicted score, mate, and my preview. I fancy Cardiff, I do. I just got this, what's the word? I just think the game will suit us. Now, don't get me wrong, Chelsea have got a ridiculous squad, but they have a tendency to capitulate. And I do think if we could get an early goal and put them under a bit of pressure, you don't know how they're going to react. Maresca himself has got a bit of a strop in him and can go to pieces. Do you see what he did was it the United game when the keeper got sent off? And he brought off Cole Palmer and made 3 subs because they had their keeper sent off and they never were able to recover. But yeah, I agree with that, Ryan. So Ryan says every team in the league sees us as a scalp at the CCS. They all play with freedom. We make mistakes at the back, so they'll have a go. It's just part and parcel of League One. Yeah, I just think, do you know, right? I do get it. Like, it is part and parcel of League One. And I've seen a few people saying today, as part of League One, teams are going to fancy it's going to be end to end, and because of the way we play, it's going to be like that. But I still point to those first 10 games. Like, we were so good defensively. We didn't look like we didn't concede a goal from open play for ages. I want to go back to that. Like, just being defensively solid, but still playing some great football and winning football matches. I just think that we can, we can do that. Yeah, Jonathan says you should have had Callum Chambers waving to the away fans as the thumbnail. Yeah, but I made football fans, right? And this isn't particularly aimed at Doncaster fans. It's just aimed at football fans generally. Football fans, like the only people in the world who will scream abuse at someone, give them all sorts of shit, and then when they wave back, absolutely lose their mind, like as if it's the most offensive thing they've ever seen. It's just weird. You just give and take it, innit? Just give and take it. And at the end of the day, they were giving him grief. He gave a bit back. He didn't do anything particularly outrageous. Yusuf Salic singing his own song was the best thing I've ever seen, ever. He just looks a man full of confidence, Salic does. And by the way, his goal, the strength to hold off that centre-back who's on his back and get a foot and guide it into the corner is just such an underrated skill and finish. He's so strong. The guy's a unit, but I just think he's so dangerous. And I saw them. It looked like at least the manager was getting a bit annoyed with him on yesterday at times where he wasn't pressing as much as I think as he wanted him to, or he was being a bit slow to go and press. But he covers some ground as Salic, particularly with Ruben out. He covers even more. It was quite interesting. I've noticed in the last couple of home games, early in the games, we're not afraid to go long. Like, we're going quite direct in the first sort of 5-10 minutes, almost trying to turn teams around and get in behind them and utilize Isaac's pace. But we never gamble. So the ball will go into Salic and you never see one of the wingers running in or the 10 running in behind. And that's the one thing which Ruben did that I don't see from anyone else is when that ball's coming up to Salic's head, like Ruben would be gone in behind to get just gamble on a flick on. And if we are going to go direct in the early part of the game, then people got to gamble because he wins flick ons. You know, Kean Ashford's goal comes from a Salic flick on. So, yeah, I'd like to see that. But, yeah, Salic is just, he offers so much as an all-round player. Matthew says, Doncaster had some good players and gave us some problems. We weren't at our best, but credit to Doncaster, they played well. They're number 9. They had caused many issues. Yeah, I just think, and it's not a criticism of Doncaster. I think we made them look. Oh no, not we made them look. We allowed them chances too easily. I just felt we should have been a bit more aware of what was going on. I also thought, by the way, I think I mentioned it. I did mention it earlier on. Charlie Crew was excellent, and that just winds me up. I'm gonna get stuck on that again, but it does wind me up, like because he's quality. I was speaking to a guy yesterday, and he thinks that what was it? His point of view was we have to start picking Callum Robinson to start because otherwise he's gonna get annoyed and he's gonna kick off. And I was like, that's not a reason to start someone. Now, I think there's an argument to be made that he could start more games on merit, but I don't watch him train. I'm not in on the tactical meetings on what they're trying to do, the patterns of play, blah, blah, blah. There's obviously a reason. And look, let me tell you something, right? Callum Robinson was as happy as anyone yesterday when we got that winner. Nothing warms my cockles more, by the way, than seeing Isaac Davis and Amari Kellyman sprinting down that touchline to mob Joel Bagan. And Brian Barry Murphy was off as well. If you see the video the club put out of the bench, it's like filmed from like that view of that camera is like I'm like behind that camera where I sit. But yeah, fucking hell. The Brian Barry Murphy was gone, and I think he got halfway and thought, I can't do that, and went back. But then what I loved is he like celebrates, high fives, and then him and Kevin Gibbons and Lee Riley they're on it like, right, what can we do to close this game out now for the last minute? Beautiful to see. I just love they're so together, and we haven't had that for so long. Like we haven't had a manager who cares. We haven't had a coaching staff and who care, and just players like they all just look happy for each other rather than sulking because they've been taken off or sulking because they're not starting or they're not playing. Joel Colwell didn't get any minutes yesterday, but he was down in that corner celebrating with his boy. Like, I love it. That's how you win leagues. That mentality on the pitch to go until the 99th minute, win games when you're not at your best, but also the togetherness that it doesn't matter who plays, who scores. Everyone does everything they can on a daily basis to make sure that everybody's prepared. And when it's your chance, when you get your opportunity to shine, if you get 2 minutes or 10 minutes or full game, you do what you can to show what you can do. Love that. Gavin says, we had 44 points last season and went down from a championship. I know it's League One, but we've got 44 points already, and it's not even Christmas. So, yeah, it's good. It's been nice to win some football matches, mate. I've got to be honest. User blah, 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 says, I heard Capaccio hadn't been very well during the week. Yeah, maybe, mate. I don't think there was a guy he was stood in the concourse, was like saying he was terrible in the first half. I didn't think he was that bad. I just didn't think he was at the high standards that, like a bit like what I said about Trott in the video earlier. He just wasn't at the high standards that he set himself already this season. That's all. Like I thought he did some good stuff, but people need to blame someone all the time, don't they? Someone, like, it can't just be like someone's having a tough game against a tough opponent. They've got to be shit. Like, I don't understand that, but, you know, is what it is, isn't it, I suppose? Joshua says Joel Colwell will 100% start in the 10. Interesting. I think Joel starts. Whether he starts in the 8 or the 10 is probably the decision, isn't it? I could see the logic to both. Like I could see the logic to Robinson going in there, but I can also definitely see the logic. Like you can't underestimate Chelsea, even if they make a load of changes. Like they're Champions League football team, they're top quality footballers, and if you try and play like if you're as open as we have been in some games, they will take us apart. So you have to somewhat try and put up barriers to stop them breaking through you. Now, Joel Caldwell in the 10, obviously, in my opinion, offers you a way more defensively as a 10. So, indeed. Right. If you've got any questions, get them in now. Last sort of 5-10 minutes or so. Because I've got to go pick up my son. So that's interesting. So Joshua says Joel Colwell starts in the 10 for sure. Gavin Callan says Robbo starts in the 10 for sure for me. So, I think it's the flip of a coin. Yeah, like Johnny says there, Fish and Capaccio were feeling it. Capaccio illness and Fish had ice all over him at halftime. Honestly, mate, I was shocked that Will Fish started yesterday. I really was. Matthew says, I wonder if Chelsea players will throw their toys out the pram after Maresca's comments yesterday. Hope so, mate. I hope they self-implode. Martin says, Wintle, Robertson, and Colwell for me. That's what I'm leaning towards. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, how can you find a place for Callum without dropping Salic? Jonathan says Wintle and Joel, I think, is the set of midfield pairing. Joel's movements will be needed. Ryan says Perry NG marking that Estevelle guy who will be rolling all over the gaff. Yeah, I think Perry might have to have his best shithousery on him on Tuesday. Because I do agree with that. JT says Chelsea are mentally weak and they'll crumble. I wouldn't be shocked. I would not be shocked at all. But hopefully they'll just, get someone sent off early doors and we can just beat them 3-0 and be done with it. But they got some players like, Enzo Fernandez, Carl Palmer. Cole Palmer are just very, very, very good footballers. And Garnacho on his day, he's a very, very good footballer. But you see the 2 chances he missed this weekend and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, I hope he plays. Could hit a barn door. But he's the sort of player who can have a good day when he's feeling confident and take you apart. So, yeah, I said that. Jamie says Trott got beaten by 1 decent goal. The others I could have saved. Wasn't his best day between the sticks. I said I felt like he was a bit off, and then I wondered if I'd been a bit harsh. But there was one in that chance where Chambers tries to bring it down, and then the Hanlon gets 1-on-1 with the keeper. From where I was, which is just inside that half by the away bench, it looked like Trott could have just come out, and if he had anticipated it and come out, he could have either got the ball or been on him so quick he wouldn't have had the chance to get the shot away. But it can be deceptive sometimes, the depth of it and stuff. That's the big one for me is, can we get Fish? Are Fish and Lawler fit to start Tuesday? If they are, come on. Jonathan says, Trott, NG, Lawler, Fish, Bagan, Wintle, Joel, Robinson, Ashford, Salic, Willock. Not bad. Lewis says Trott, NG, Lawler, Fish, Bagan. So people seem to be agreeing with the back four. Wintle, Robertson, Robinson, Davis, Salic, and Ashford. Don't mind that. Martin says, throw Chelsea a curveball, 3 at the back. Lawless, Chambers, and NG. 2 up top. Yeah, stranger things have happened. I'm not sure I'd drop Fish, though, if he's fit. But I don't hate 3 at the back, but you know me, I like a 3 at the back. Graham's got same back 4. Ashford, Robertson, Wintle, Davis, Robinson, and Salic. So it is quite mixed in terms of who, like the midfield and who should play in the 10. So for the 3 at the back, Martin said Bagan on the left, Wintle, Robertson, and Joel as a 3 in the middle with Ashford as the right wing back. I said he could do that role last year with Salic and Robinson up front. Yeah, I don't hate that, mate. The only difference I had is I would have Fish, Lawler, and then one other as the back 3, if fit, obviously. Who else we got? So Gray, Martin says same back 4: Wintle, Robertson, Colwell, Ashford, Davis, Salic. Joshua's got same back 4: Wintle, Robertson, Colwell, Ashford, Robinson, Davis. No Salic in the team for Joshua. Interesting. Corey's got Trot, same back 4: Wintle, Robertson, Robinson, Davis, Ashford, Salic. I think there's an argument for this. Yeah, that'd be nice. That would, wouldn't it? Jama says Chelsea have always have pace and are a very explosive team. I just hope they've got yet another red card in them, so City must attack from the get-go. Yeah, I think we got to put them under pressure and not let them settle. User with lots of letters says it's interesting to see them practicing patterns of play in the warm-up. It's definitely deliberate, yeah, and you can see it in the games. We're doing it quicker and quicker and playing off less and less touches. And I just think what that means is, I'm hoping that over Christmas and just after Christmas, we're just going to be really, really hitting that peak. Because if you can hit your peak Christmas and January, I think you can build a bit of a gap. Oh, Chelsea fan. What Cardiff players should Chelsea fans watch out for on Tuesday? Dylan Lawler, Yusuf Salic, Alex Robertson, Isaac Davis, I think could be interesting because he's quick. And Kean Ashford's in a boatload of form. Obviously, no Kellyman. He's ineligible. And no Ruben Colwell because he's injured. And Callum Robinson's got a very good scoring record against Chelsea. So I'd be shocked if Robinson doesn't start, even though I don't think he starts in our best 11. I think I would start him on Tuesday somehow. Couple of Chelsea fans in the group in the chat. Yeah, look, I'd be interested in what you guys, Chelsea lads, think about like how many changes you lot will make on Tuesday. Because obviously, if you go in at like your best 11, you'd expect it to be comfortable. 2 divisions above us, international Champions League footballers at the end of the day. I tend to agree with that, Geraint. I think Colwell and Lawler would have made a big difference to the gaps that we had in defensively yesterday. But I thought we looked better when Perry NG and Dylan came on, even though we still weren't winning second balls. Yeah, someone needs to find me a video of Salic singing his own song. I want it. Never. Geraint says sneaky bid for their number 7 would be nice. Never base your scouting off one game against you. Learn that. Anyone remember Solomon Tayo? So Jake says Chelsea will play a full team. Interesting. All the pressure's on Chelsea. At the end of the day, like, they should be winning, shouldn't they? So it's Jake also says Enzo might be rested. So yeah, that Esteval, did he play in the weekend? I don't think he did. Yeah, Keir Ashford was outstanding again. Been saying it all along. Just people are so like, gotta have someone to blame. Like, gotta criticize someone. Yeah, Gav, you're not wrong there. Carl Palmer. Carlton. Gavin says, our younger players' price might go up even more on Tuesday when they have a good game against the Premier League side. A lot of eyes will be on this game. Yeah, maybe they'll keep him on the bench. Maybe they'll keep Dylan Lawler on the bench and try and hide him away from teams. But yeah, you are right, mate. No, Cole Palmer come back yesterday, scored a goal. It's going to be, it'd be a great atmosphere. Great atmosphere. And the thing for me is, right, is I don't think Brian Barry Murphy, as a manager, has got it in him to play like 4-5-1 and sit behind, try and frustrate Chelsea. I can see us just trying to go toe for them, toe to toe with them, and it's probably a mistake, really. But look, who knows? You never know. It's a one-off game. There's no pressure on us. We're in good form. We're scoring goals. It's at home. The crowd's going to be bumping. Just have a go in it. Don't let them settle and see what's what. Reese says, big issue for me, the lack of movements in front of a defence in the last 25 minutes. At one point, Turnbull turned back and Chambers picked the ball up and ran it deep. Yeah, we made some strange decisions at times. Yeah, Geraint, the Doncaster fan, Charles, which we had on earlier in the week, was saying about him. He's definitely a good player. But I just don't know, why would they sell? I suppose everyone's got a price, mate, haven't they? Can't see us. I don't think we'll have money to spend anyway, mate. We might sign some players on loan or freeze or whatever. But I don't think we'll be spending millions. But yeah, just looking at the stats yesterday, and Keir Ashford's stats are very, very good. 29 out of 36 accurate passes. 18 out of 23 passes in the opposition half. 1 out of 2 accurate long balls. Let's have a look at his key passes. Key passes, assist. Goal, obviously, as well. Yeah, he's just very good. Just very good and deserves more credit. It's defensive work as well. 5 ball recoveries he had. 4 out of 7 ground duels won. 1 out of 1 aerial duel. I can't bring myself to look at Charlie Crew's stats, so I'm going to have a look at Amari Kellyman's to finish off because I thought he was really good. I'd be interested in his what's his dribbling stats? 25 touches. Was fouled 7 times. Amari Kellyman was yesterday, and he's another one. Recovered the ball 3 times. Won 7 out of 10 ground duels yesterday. Amari Kellyman. 1 interception. Can't fault that from a number 10, and a young lad who's finding his way. 4 shots on 4 shots, 2 on target, 1 blocked, and 1 goal. Quality. Lastly, we'll have a look at Alex Robertson. Alex Robertson only went off because he went because he got booked, and he was just literally one tackle away from another yellow. I thought he was really, really good. 35 out of 39 accurate passes, 90%, 14 out of 18 in the opposition half, 21 out of 21 in his own half, 1 out of 1 accurate long ball. Just very, very good. Very, very good. And I think he's getting better with each game he plays. Just need to find the right combination and balance in that midfield now, because I think it was Corey said earlier that he feels that Robertson and Wintel's our best combination. I think I feel the same, but I'm not sure. Because I rate Joel Colwell big, so it's a strange one. JT says we need to be looking at much higher than players from Doncaster. BBM wants quality over quantity, and I wouldn't start him over Ashford, Willock, Tanner. Yeah, I don't think I would start him over Ashford, Willock, Isaac Davis. Obviously, you don't know how Ollie Tanner's going to be when he comes back. Obviously, last year he struggled a bit when he came back from injury, and it took him a bit of time, but he looked very sharp at the start of this season, so hopefully that's the case. So, tomorrow, Chelsea preview, lunchtime. I don't normally do the 3 videos for the midweek games because I don't have enough time to research them and do them and stuff. But my son hasn't got football tomorrow night, so I might do a preview and I might do a Maresca versus BBM video. Why the hell not? Don't get to play a Premier League team all the time, do we? So I might do that, and that'll be out on match day morning, probably. Cardiff City phone in tomorrow night, and of course the member show. And if you are a member on a Patreon, the Dave Jones interview went up this morning for you guys. We'll start dropping clips and stuff of that over the next couple of weeks, or the next week, and then they'll go out over Christmas. We've also got Sean Morrison and Graham Kavanagh evenings live events to go out as well over Christmas. So there's plenty of stuff to come in. And Rob and Aaron interviewed Bryn Law as well from Sky Sports. So we've got loads of stuff coming over the Christmas period in between all the match coverage and all that sort of stuff. So please do spread the word. I did try to set something up with Chelsea Fan TV ahead of the game to have a chat to them, but didn't get a response, unfortunately. But there we go. Such is life. I'm sure they get loads and loads of requests and stuff for that sort of stuff. They got like 500,000 subscribers. So it's a different world, innit? I understand. Not a problem. It'd be nice to just have a decent ref. I second that, Graham. I'm so fed up of these shitty refs. Like, I've had a guts full of it. I just would like to have a decent ref for a change. But anyway, I got to go pick my son up, so I apologize. I don't know why I'm apologizing. It's got over an hour anyway. But as always, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in over the last week. It's been cool. We're interacting with everybody. And, this train ain't stopping. Cardiff City all day, 7 days a week. And like I said, we'll have the preview, we'll have the Maresca v BBM, we'll have the Cardiff City phone in, we'll have the post-match reactions and all the rest of it. No stopping this train. And then we'll start building up to the Lincoln City game. And like I said, if you're a member, check out the Dave Jones interview. Let me know what you thought. And got a few more of them lined up for next year already, as well as some real special episodes of Inside the EFL as I go on little road trips to different football clubs. But anyway, take it easy, keep the faith, and I'll see you in a bit. Nice. This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the Breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the Spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans for fans. Balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.